Hey, Zach here with Techno CNC Systems, back with another tutorial video for you. Today we're going to be going over setting up and loading a tool manually. This spindle calls for an ER32 collet nut, and holder. We have those here. You have your collet, which you'll choose the specific size for the tool that you're using. You have our collet nut, which will secure the tool and collet to the holder. All these, as I said, are ER32, which will match up with the LC new generation. The first step to putting your tool holder together is going to be taking your collet and your collet nut, and you're going to set it in there and press force directly down into the collet nut until you hear a click, and then you'll see it's secure in there. To remove the collet from the nut, you'll have to put lateral force on the collet, like so. Push that until it clicks out and you can remove it. Now that we have these set up, we're going to next take our tool holder and just thread it just a little bit on there. And with these tool holders, one thing to check when you're first setting them up is that these pull studs here on the end, this black part, is nice and tight, because sometimes if those are loose, it won't grab into the spindle properly, so you need to make sure that those are nice and tight. And there is flat spots on each side that would allow you to get a wrench on there if you need to and really tighten down on it. Now that we have these set up, we need to take the holder and our tool to our tool vise in the back of the machine, and that'll let us tighten down on this and get our tool nice and secure. All right, so we have our tool vise here at the back of the machine. We also do have flat spots on our tool holder. Those will line up with the flat spots on our vise and secure that so that doesn't rotate as we tighten down on our tool. With your machine, you'll have received an ER32 collet wrench, and we're going to need this in order to tighten down on the collet nut and secure our tool. So we're going to take our tool, we're going to slide that into the collet. You want to make sure that you have about 1/8 of an inch from the cutting edge of the tool sticking out of the collet. So as we tighten down on the collet nut, we're going to make sure that we hold our tool in place so that way it doesn't slide too far into our collet. And that'll just allow it not to slide once we have it set like so. Now that we've tightened it enough that the tool isn't sliding around, we can put our ER32 collet wrench, slide it into our collet nut, and we're going to tighten down on that so it's nice and tight. All right. When we're sliding our tool holder into the tool rack, we have this groove here on our holder. This is going to line up with the groove on our tool clip. Line that up and just pull it right back into the clip. Any of the tooling, collets, holders, and clips can be purchased on technocncshop.com. All right, now you can continue to set up the rest of your tools that you may want to use and slide those into your clips. But you may also want to manually load a tool into the spindle, especially when you're first setting up the machine. There won't be a tool in there, so you want to manually load one in, and we'll show you how to do that now. Load your tool manually into the spindle. We're going to be using this green button on the left-hand side of the spindle. So what you're going to do is you're going to push the tool holder up into the spindle, and as you hold this green button, the chuck will release, and you'll feel the holder move up just slightly more. You can release the green button while continuing to hold pressure upward, and the chuck will close and lock that tool in place. You can just check, make sure it's not going to fall out, and you should be good to go. All right, so that was manually setting up your tools and loading them into the spindle. Next up, we're going to be talking about automatically changing tools and measuring tool lengths. We'll see you in the next video.